Hello and welcome to another edition of Tab Tuesday. I'm Angie Ellsworth from Time Out Behavior Coaching in Rochester, Minnesota, and we help families know better, do better, and feel better through in-home parent coaching and small and large group behavior training. Today, I'm going to continue with our series on communication. We've been talking about how we have to have good intentions when we are communicating. If what we're saying is true, helpful, necessary, important, and kind. And then we also started talking about how what we say and how we say it can affect our relationships in the sense of who feels like if we're blaming or accusing someone of something versus taking responsibility ourselves. So today, I also wanted to share some tips from really great resource who's an inspirational and motivational speaker and who also really looks at the power of connection and the importance of really motivating people to do and be their best, and that's Tony Robbins. I'll link an article about tone of voice and how tone and the things you say and how you say it are more important than what you say. Some of those key points today are about using and recognizing how your pitch, your volume, and your pace and your timbre can all impact communication. Now, most of us know about volume, where we talk about like how loud we talk versus how soft we talk. I can say I love you in a lot of different volumes, but what is the way that the people that are around me really care and that I care about and that I love want to hear that, right? What makes the most to that means the most to them. So for example, think about it if you're at an outdoor concert and there's so many people around and everybody's having a good time and it's loud and you're talking loud and you're just having a normal conversation. But if you go and raise your volume even higher than the loudness of the crowd, chances are, regardless of what you say, you could say, I love you. You could say, I hate you. You could say, help, help. You could say, fabulous food, whatever it is. But no matter what, when your volume even raises louder than the normal pitch, the normal volume around you, people are going to stop and they're going to look and say, what's the matter? Or they might be startled or they might react in a way that causes, them to be kind of like surprised. So volume, regardless of what you say, can really make a huge difference in how you communicate. And it really goes without saying. Anytime we yell at someone can really, it will backfire on us. So this often happens when we feel like we're speaking too loudly and we're being aggressive. We really want to try to, instead of raising your voice, try to emphasize slowing the pace of your words. And in this article, Tony Robbins gives us also some really good tips on pace and how slowly or quickly we speak, right? Mainly, he's making some reference to the couple's communication or you and your partner, but also think about when you're communicating with your kids. I know I get sometimes I get stuck with saying I'm in a hurry and I want things to go fast and quickly, but my kids can't always process that stuff quickly. So I have to remember to slow down and break things down so they can understand what I'm saying and they can better absorb my message. And this is a cute example that my sister called last week and she said, I just listened to your video about communication and I gotta tell you. And I said, what do you mean? What video were you listening to? And she goes, the one where you say, know better, families do better, blah, 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 blah. And I remember specifically in that recording saying that so quickly, and she actually mimicked the same thing back to me. And I thought, I need to slow down when I say that. So a good rule of thumb, especially if you're speaking in front of an audience or sharing something with your children, is to speak about half the speed you normally talk. This makes sure that your tone of voice is clear so everyone can understand. You'll also notice that if you're intentionally slowing down how you talk, it also helps you relax and helps keep your internal body systems calmer. So we talked about volume, we talked about pace. How about pitch? Pitch is how high or low your voice fluctuates. And research shows that an overly high pitched voice, like if I'm talking really loud and my pitch of my voice goes up and my voice sounds a little squeakier or a little bit more, I guess I would say a high pitch is annoying to me, but it can suggest immaturity or defensiveness. If you end a sentence with your pitch going up at the end, it can sound more like a question instead of a statement, which then could leave the person confused. This is a constant in my family, because I'll say, "Don't you think we should, make dinner?" And my husband looks at me and he goes, "Well, so do you want to make dinner or not?" And I'm like, "Well, what did you, well, I just said, don't you think we should make dinner?" And he goes, "No, it sounded like a question." So the pitch at the end goes up. And I'm really trying to be conscious of working on that and stating more things without the high or low fluctuation in my pitch. So if you're curious about that, click on the link below and read more about this article. One thing a lot of families don't really think about is the timbre of your voice. And this is the emotional quality of your tone of voice and communication, the attitude you bring to what you say. And this one I often think about a lot, but I often don't teach it because it's not something that really often comes up in what people understand about nonverbal communication. So practicing managing your voice and taking note of how you sound. Does your voice sound rushed? Does it sound sad? Does it sound frustrated or happy? You can really be aware of that. And when you are, then it helps your attitude filter through that in your voice. So thinking about the ways that is my attitude and how I'm saying things connected to the way that they're coming out. So my intent, is that the same as the impact of my words? All right. So the attitude that comes through. So all of these pieces are really important when it comes to affecting relationships. Tone of voice can help predict relationship success. There's plenty of research out there. I've mentioned the Gottman Institute before, which are the gurus in relationships and communication. So really just an encourager to be mindful of your tone of voice, your pitch, your speed, your rate, your timbre, and trying to keep all of those pieces together when you're communicating. And click on the link below if you want a little more information about that. So there you go. Something new to help you and your family know better, do better, and feel better about communicating and connecting with those you love.